So apparently we're going to Mars, and I'm on reserve whether or not I want to help them. Maybe we do if we find them up there. So anyway, as to dead people, I don't want to give them checks, or they shouldn't vote either. So Senator Kaine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations on the nomination, Mr. Vought. I want to go back to the comment that Senator Warner read to you. There's 140,000 federal employees in Virginia. And you gave a speech that got a lot of attention when you said, we want bureaucrats to be traumatically affected. When they wake up in the morning, we want them to not want to go to work because they are increasingly viewed as the villains. Now, I pay attention to the way people say things because there's a million ways you can make a point. And the way you choose to make a point tells you something about the person. There's a wonderful, since I had an Old Testament reference over there, I'll go to a New Testament one, Luke 6:45. From the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks. We want people to be traumatized. We want people to be traumatized. I've heard a million people in this room give speeches about we want to cut the budget, we want to reduce federal spending, we want to deal with the deficit, but I haven't heard anybody give a gleeful speech about traumatizing the federal workforce. You don't want federal air traffic controllers going to the airport traumatized, do you, Mr. Vought?
No, Senator.
You don't want the people inspecting our food, our medicine, our infant formula as federal. You don't want them to go to work traumatized, do you?
No, Senator.
You don't want the people interdicting drugs at the border. You don't want them going to work traumatized, do you?
No, Senator.
And you don't want people who are working for you at the OMB, who many people would think, well, they're in the White House, they must be. You don't want them traumatized, do you?
No, Senator. Thank you for expanding on that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I felt like I had to, because I got 140,000 people, and most of them have families, and they're trying to do a good job. Was your comment about people being traumatized just focused on the federal workforce, or was it more broadly about state employees and local government employees too?
Senator, it was about the weaponized bureaucracy that unfortunately—
I'm going to get to weaponized in a minute, but you were talking about the federal workforce.
I was talking about the bureaucracy that I experienced and that have—
at the federal level.
At the federal level.
You were not talking about state
I can't
employees.
speak. I have no experience with the state.
You were not talking about local employees?
Was not.
Your mother was a public school teacher, correct?
Yes, Senator.
So you were talking about you want the federal workforce to be traumatized.
Bureaucracies.
I like a lot of presidents. I'm a Lincoln fan. Are you a Lincoln fan?
Yes, Senator.
Lincoln spoke to a nation at war, and he said, with malice towards none and charity towards all. And he was saying that to the North and the South. He didn't say, we want you to be traumatized. He was a bridge builder and a unifier, and that's what public servants should be. They shouldn't gleefully be wishing trauma on people who are trying to serve their fellow man. I want to get to woke and weaponized. You were the president of the Center for Renewing America, and the think tank produced a 2023 budget proposal calling a commitment to end woke and weaponized government. Do you remember that?
Yes, Senator.
And that's the correct title?
Yes, Senator.
It's 104 pages of details to end woke and weaponized government, and it proposes deep cuts to the SNAP program. Is providing nutrition assistance to low-income kids woke and weaponized?
Senator, I'm not here to talk about the budget that the center put out. I'm here on behalf of the president.
Yeah, but you just said you did that. I want to know what's woke and weaponized about providing food assistance to low-income kids.
Well, again, I'm not here on behalf of my center, on behalf of the president.
I know that, but this is your work product. I mean, you can say it's not woke and weaponized, or you can tell me why it's woke and weaponized. I don't think SNAP programs or benefits for kids are woke and weaponized. You agree with me?
When we refer to the federal government being weaponized, we're referring to bureaucracies that—
Okay, so you're not you didn't include SNAP. You proposed to cut SNAP, but you're not saying it's woke and weaponized.
Again, I am not going to answer questions about the Center for Renewing America's
You proposed
products.
deep cuts to Pell Grants. Is helping kids pay for college and helping their families, is that woke and weaponized?
Again, I'm not here to defend the Center for Renewing America's
I get
budget.
it that you're not here to defend that work product, and I'm going to understand why. You proposed deep cuts to Medicaid for millions of low-income families. Why is that woke and weaponized? You propose undermining health insurance. Why is that woke and weaponized? Eliminating tenant-based rental assistance. Why is that woke and weaponized? Eliminating the low-income housing energy assistance program. This was all in your document about ending woke and weaponized government. Okay, let's see. We want to traumatize federal employees, and then we want to take all these programs that help everyday people who are struggling and cut them because they're woke and weaponized. Those are your words, not mine. From the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks. I yield back.
Thank you. Senator Ricketts.